But now we see it for the first time in North America, and every single region is just have slightly different approach to the maps, even though we all play the same game.
I love what this is saying about the region, though, and about all these teams here, that they are not here to play the same seeds that they've been playing for several years. They're here to keep it interesting. They want to bring these new maps out, and hopefully we should see some exciting new strats and some new metas being developed as well. In terms of the operator bans,
Nothing new.
nothing new, right? We've got the Thatcher taken off the board first and the Flores to follow. Nobody is shocked about that. Those Rotero drones can be extremely pesky to deal with as a defensive team. They can just roll through that setup, destroy those shields. Seems like both these teams do not want to deal with that.
Yeah. So then we're going to see here now what the second defender, or the first defender will be, right? That's the mirror of the board. Nothing out of the ordinary either. And if we were to guess right now with the lineup, Valkyrie, should be following through as the final defender to be banned out. And no, it will be a kite instead, actually. And that's going to allow the attackers a little bit more favor of opening up the walls with that Thatcher also being off the board. Sure, the Maverick will still be great. You get the 2 grenades, you get the torch to burn through the walls, but you're not like in dire need of playing that operator anymore. And that's going to give Soniqs a lot more flexibility on their roster.
Well, part of the discovery on any new map is well, what sites are we going to be seeing from these teams? It looks like we are going to get a hint at the first one is bedroom and bathroom coming out from Astralis. That is on the house side of this skyscraper map. And like many maps in Siege, it is likely going to depend on a little bit of a vertical extension. Not all of this map is soft destructible. It's not like Border where the entire map can be blown up with a couple of explosive charges, some frag grenades, and a nice little breaching hammer. But it is, on this side of the map, very dependent on that vertical destruction. Up above in office, in museum, you can see that that floor is entirely destructible. There are some areas that you cannot get through, but look at this. That is why the setup from Astralis is going to be so vital on this top floor.
Yeah, we got a tanker repick now in the game, so no more reveal phase with that 6-pick. And we actually see bottom left of your screen, Rexin was showing off the Twitch initially, but they went to the Bug. We saw Super and Ibana go into the Ace, and that just speaks again the verticality that they want to approach to this bomb site. And when we think of Skyscraper in terms of like theoreticals, I always see Skyscraper kind of play out the same way as Villa or Chalet, where, well, if you're defending, you know, Master Bedroom, you probably want to go up above and defend that verticality. And if you're an attacker, that's exactly where you want to go to attack, right? You want as much map control as possible, lock down the flanks, and then start, you know, just destroying the floor and assess or basically put as much pressure on the bomb side as possible.
Well, here they are already going through that very step. They're working their way to the top floor, at least both Rexin, and it appears that Kansan was doing that a moment ago. The presence of the Buck, of course, is a pretty good indication of what the Soniqs have in mind in terms of the job they need to get done on this site. And we can already see Yeti doing some work with the breaching torch on the Maverick, trying to open up that office wall that of course, has those bandit batteries on that Shuttle has been bringing into the mix here. So we're already seeing them get this clear underway. The Soniqs have now opened up that wall with the skeleton key from Rexin, and now it's just about forcing Shuttle out, forcing these roamers, these extended defenders on that top floor to back away.
Yeah, and so far we see that, but J90 actually running out the door, gets almost a kill, but gets shut down instead as Kansan opening kill for the side of Soniqs, and that is the ARS is doing good work.
Well, the runouts here on Skyscraper, it was something that was always in the meta on Skyscraper, on the old Skyscraper in Ranked. But here, in the competitive area, we are going to be seeing that just the same. Already proving that on that first kill, and the second one found by Yeti with a nice frag grenade, some good intel work there from the team, and they'll be able to deliver a kill because of it. Iconic looking to maybe get an answer here, not looking to give up the top floor for at least early on, but he'll eventually drop down and rejoin his team down below in Kitchen.
But look how far the Astralis are playing, right? No one's really nearby each other. Run out, no support. The nade then for the window, no support. And now Iconic in the Kitchen has no support either. It's DP Fire on the bomb side trying to find something as well, but nothing is being found. So far, it's all Soniqs picking up 3 back-to-back.
Yeah, Rexin gets another. Iconic and Shuttle, they will have an answer, and Shuttle drops down and gets a double kill. We're back in a 2v2 just like that, but Shuttle on low HP needs to be very careful about how he proceeds here. Just one bullet, a breath in his direction, and he is done for, but Iconic picks up one more, and Rexin will get the trade. We're back in a 1v1, but the early gunfight, Shuttle takes the fight, and it looks like Soniqs were not prepared for it. That is well played from Shuttle and Iconic. That was a 2v4, and they're able to bring that back and take the round.
Looked extremely one-sided for Soniqs, right? They got all the opening picks, no answers back, and out of nowhere, Astralis, they just found pick after pick after pick. Shuttle got a kill, dropped down the hedge and got a second, and then Rexen, he got the 1v1 against the wall. Make that a 1 versus 3 and not a 2 versus 3.
Well, as you can tell, we are going back into the lobby as it looks like all of our tech issues have been figured out. And here we are in round 2, and we get to see another defensive site coming out from Astralis. They started over in bedroom and bathroom, but they're going just slightly above it. One floor directly above that site is museum and office, the next site that Astralis will be looking to defend. We could see those nitro cells from below. We could see that vertical destruction, much like we saw in that last round, but we only have one of those nitro cells in the hand of Shuttle, so maybe that'll be a little bit limited.
Yeah, we are actually right now we see Castle, that is J90, who's extending across the map, trying to get that map control that you want to have as a defender, where you're not necessarily playing for your life on the other side of the map, but you want to slow down the attacker so that you can kind of play down the clock, because otherwise, if you just give them the entirety for free, well, in 20 seconds, they'll be knocking on the bomb site doors, and you don't really have anywhere safe to play. So much like Border, much like Villa, you cannot just play on the bomb site itself. You have to get active somewhere else. And this soft wall to the outside balcony actually being opened up from Astralis, something that in ranked play we typically see reinforced.
Well, I guess much like ranked play, though, it could indicate that we're going to see some run-outs. So we could see some defensive aggression, because when you think about it...
Saw that the first round.
Right, that's exactly what won them the first round, but it also... We saw that in the early round, and, well, it had a couple of mistakes in it for them as well. But Soniqs, they're probably going to start this one much the same as they did the previous round. And based on this attacker lineup, it seems that that's going to be pretty certain. You've got Rexen sticking the buck. The skeleton key is something he's going to continue to bring, especially, once again, because of that soft destruction. And Yeti is going to be bringing out that breaching torch because, as you know, with Shuttle in play in those bandit batteries, it is a little bit frustrating to open the wall when then those batteries are in play.
It is. Even though the kite is banned, Shuttle doing a good job substituting that operator with the bandit that serves the exact same purpose, although be it a bit more risky if you want to try and trick the walls. But Shuttle actually on the roam, he's pre-placed the batteries and gotten off the bomb site. He can get active. He has the C4 as well, but no one nearby to help him. So if Soniqs wants to kind of chase down the lurkers from Astralis, that can be some isolated kills. They're instead opting to take out the wall directly from the side, just like the previous round.
Well, something that I think, is worth mentioning a little bit more here is, of course, we've got Thorn in play, right? Those Razor Bloom grenades, not something we've seen much in pro play at all, and we're going to hopefully get to see them utilized here from Astralis. Not easy to pin down exactly where those get placed once Iconic has actually put those on the map, but we could possibly see those come in later when the Soniqs get forced around a little bit, forced to relocate and just to avoid the lethal damage that those can provide. Yeah,
so the further down the clock that we get here, it actually gets better and better for Astralis with the trap operator on the map as they do. And you also have the Toxic Basement Forest and the Smoke. 2 left. One has been burned earlier on in the round. Rexen and the side of Soniqs now have control of all the floors below. They got the wall into the bomb site itself opened up. So in the verticality with the line of sight, they're trying to figure out where the players of Astralis will be sitting and isolate them and get some free picks.
Well, you can see DP Fire positioned on the stairs, waiting for someone to creep their way up potentially. Grixer is sitting down below, but the stairs is not his goal. Right now he's looking to find somebody through the floor holes sitting down below. He's already used those frag grenades to open up a couple of angles, but he cannot quite spot out those remaining defenders upstairs. Rexen trying to do the same thing, but no frags being allowed to be found just yet, and that could be a problem given how long the Soniqs are taking to actually execute. The opening pick of the round is finally secured, but this time by Astralis. It's Forrest who gets the opening blow, but with 15 seconds, the Soniqs need to move in. The nade will go in from Yeti, but it comes up with nothing. Super tries to sneak around the other side of Museum here, not able to get one yet, though. Grixer will be the first one on the Soniqs to get a kill, but Astralis clap back in a massive way, shutting down the Soniqs in just a moment. I mean, that was instant, and it looked like, well, the entire Soniqs attack just got destroyed.
It had to be fast, right? Because Soniqs, well, there is no time left on the clock. Super jumped in the side window with about 14 seconds left in the round, and that just means you gotta go, and you gotta go fast. When you're going through a single window and the breach on the bomb site as well, you'll walk into like 4 or 5 different crossfires set up from Astralis. So when you don't have any utility, no grenades, no flashbangs, and only 2 ways in, it's going to be near impossible to succeed. That's exactly what happened. That means 2-0 for Astralis. They get to go to the 3rd bomb site successful all the way throughout so far.
In your experience, seeing this map played possibly in the other region over the last few days, do we know if this map is either heavily defensive-sided or attacker-sided just yet?
That is actually a great question. It is such a good question. I don't actually have the answers. I should have looked that up beforehand. I also think there's a a counter argument, which is how valid are statistics when a map is brand new? Because every team is kind of learning from each other right now. I'm sure that Soniqs and Astralis, they saw it being played out in APAC and thought, oh, that's how APAC plays it. Well, we played a bit differently, and maybe you kind of combine them both and they say, this is how we choose to play it. But you see Latin play it next week, right? And they play super aggressive. Then EU, they're all hiding in corners. They're playing super passive. So I think in a few weeks, as every region starts playing it and they all kind of learn from each other, statistics will slowly start to grow into more valid. But I think right now it's all up in the air.
Well, that's a fair point, and again, we can see if Astralis can keep this defensive streak going, they're 2 for 2, and if they want to go 3 for 3, they've got to complete a successful defense over here on their third bomb site. Karaoke and T-Room coming up next for them. Now, unlike the other side of the map, there is a little bit less soft destruction. That is possible here, but still likely to be a factor because you can see that Astralis are going for a bit of a roam. You know, you've got Shuttle sitting down below near Restaurant trying to potentially catch out a couple of drones, but definitely a couple of players if they wander his way.
Yeah, and that's what Shuttle's been doing so far each and every single round, always with that holo B-scope as well. One of the great changes in Year 7 of Siege is that you have every single 1x scope available to every single weapon in the game. So if you're a Reflex player, well, you got Reflex on every single weapon. If you're a holo B player or a holo A player, you got that available to you too. So Shuttle, holo B player, roaming around, iconic, similar story, roaming across the maps. That's like that roam duo, if you will. But they aren't playing together. They're trying to have as much map control as possible throughout the entirety of the map to open up the possibility of a flank as well.
Also, it's a little different. We're seeing these lone roamers rather than just full extensions. They're just trying to get some individual play, try to catch Soniqs off guard if they can. We do see them playing slightly together up above as J9O is looking to get something going in mezzanine, but not really clear that they're going for a full extension rather than just a couple of players off to the side. But the black stairs and this rotate over in the side of Karaoke wall, that really seems to be the next focus for Soniqs. That is where they've now thrown a couple of their nades. They've worked a little bit of a utility clear, and they've got somebody on the window to potentially provide some pressure from the other side as well.
They do, and they got tons of flashbangs, nades coming out now. They have 3 adrenal surges from Finka as well. So once they want to push that go button, once again, I think it'll be very, very quickly. And with Yeti on this window where Pelican cut off the rotate halfway through the bomb side, and there's actually no C4s from the side of Astralis to answer back. All they have are 2 toxic babes from Forest. That's all they got in their pockets.
Well, Rexon hoping to open up this round with a pick here, looking down the long hall. Somebody positioning in Geisha, but not exposing himself just yet. But Rexon knows that kill is so close around the corner. Toxic Smoke goes out to delay this push a little longer, but Yeti swings in. Finka boost to assist, and here comes that sprint. The Razor Bloom actually catches out Yeti. That may be the first kill we have seen with that utility here in all of Pro League, but that is a hell of an opener for Astralis, and now they're looking to find a couple of more. Rexon does respond, though. Returns this one back to a 4v4, but DP Fire has an angle, and now he has the diffuser down in his sights, nearly picking up another kill. 9 seconds, though. The Soniqs need to push in, but they are being stopped at every turn. Rexon gets another, but he is last alive with 1 HP and no time remaining. 2 defenders still alive for Astralis, and once again, they pull off a successful defense.
Yeah, and that's Astralis once again setting up the crossfire, right? It looks so easy from the side of Soniqs on paper because walk on in, use your flashbangs, throw out those grenades, Adrenal Surge gets hit up, you push through, you even get the kill trade into that 4 versus 4. It was extremely unfortunate for Yeti that, of course, he rappelled into the bomb side, and then there's a Thorn's gadget up in the top right corner. He either runs into a crossfire, will die to bullets, or he'll stay in that corner and die to the gadget. There's no way out for him, and that really also gave Astralis a really good indication that the push is coming from Soniqs.
Well, it looks like the Soniqs will be taking a bit of a timeout there. I think that's a tactical timeout for them, and I think it is a good time that we're seeing that. That is 3 rounds in a row that they have lost, and a clean rotation. Yeah, defensive rotation for Astralis, and that is always something to be proud of because now you can go back to that first bomb site you were successful on. You can refine that defense even further, and hey, if you can pull that one off, you've got 2 more sites ready to go as well. So Soniqs, they've got to go to the drawing board here and figure out what they can do to put this one over the edge. Maybe try to find that early aggression from the first round that they had.
You know, the best part is they have a 4th bomb site as well. Like, and actually they chose it, right? We're now into kitchen barbecue bomb site instead. So we're going all for bedroom, office, tea, and then kitchen. So they want to get not just the back-to-back-to-back on all 3 bomb sites. They want to go back-to-back-to-back-to-back on all 4 bomb sites.
That would be quite a statement to make, especially, again, like we've said, against the reigning NAL champions who had a top 6 finish at Invite. This is an intimidating opponent and a young Astralis team who's looking to make a name for themselves in 2022. I mean, this is a great way to start for them. Of course, this is what we saw on Border in our first game. We did see a comeback made from Parabellum after they started down 3 rounds. We saw it nearly go to overtime, so it is certainly not over yet for the Soniqs. I'm confident they've got the brain power, they've got the discipline to make this comeback happen, but it is looking more intimidating by the second.
Absolutely, and from the APAC games that I did see, we spoke earlier about statistics, it was more defender-sided than attacker-sided. But I also say that not every single team is necessarily good at attacking, and they might be at defending, because when you think about it, defenders have to basically put up a problem that the attackers have to solve. And if the attackers cannot solve it, you will just by default win as a defender. So the question always comes to mind, well, if you're not a good attacking team, you're going to have a really tough time once that side swap comes in. And right now we're seeing Astralis being very comfortable on the defensive side of things, but will they be as comfortable when they have to make all the decisions of how to counter Soniqs?
Well, we still have 3 rounds to get before we reach that milestone, because Astralis, they are looking comfortable, and they are once again going for a bit of a top floor extension on this defense. Once again, we are on the other side of the map than our earlier top floor holds, but now it really is going to matter on how long they can hold the site that they were just defending. Both of Karaoke and Tea Room. Geisha is already in control of the Soniqs, it appears, and so they'll be looking to roll in as soon as they can to force this Astralis defense out. But ooh, already Forrest, that new pickup we've talked about, he's going to continue to make an impact in this map, and he's going to get the first kill.
Yep, paying off, and Soniqs in the exact same position as previously, and they're not finding success just like they did not previously either. And Astralis now setting up that crossfire, DP getting picked off, but no Iconic actually traces it back. Rexon does end up finding that kill, but Soniqs, they need more.
Ooh, Kansan gets another there, shutting down Iconic. We're back in an even 3v3, but Diffuser has been dropped, but this kill, that could put them over the edge. They've taken down Shuttle now. Kansan will be credited with a double kill. Forrest looking to get aggressive and get something back, and it works. Actually, J90 is the one who gets credited with that kill, the headshot onto Kansan, and it's going to be all up to the man himself. A top 4 fragger internationally. It is Grixer who needs to make this one happen. He's got 60 seconds, but no intel. No drones remaining. He does have 2 nades, though, trying to just guess and hope that he can catch one of these defenders out before they catch him off guard. He's got to recover this diffuser, so he'll pick that up and begin to retreat, because in theory, he could try to get a plant down. Both of these defenders are a little bit extended, not looking at the exact plant spot.
No, they're not really playing together either. I'm sure you got verticality up above, but if Grixer managed to find one player, make that a 1 versus 1, then all of a sudden it looks very possible to clutch out the round.
Yeah, you don't want to give him 2 1v1s. If he's able to take these 2 separate gunfights, it is very winnable for a fragger like him. The first one just sitting around the corner, but it looks like Astralis, they're going to be wiser. J90, he came down to support, but that's going to cost him his life. Forrest playing passively behind the reinforcement, but a grenade right at his position forces him to fall back. Grixer is now out of time, though. He needs to get this bomb down or find this frag. It looks like he's going to hunt for the frag. He's got the pre-fire, and he's got the kill. Soniqs get their first round thanks to a great clutch from Grixer.
You said it. Don't give this man the 1v1s, and that's what they did. 2 1v1s, both of them of which Grixer won. That's the only and first round from Soniqs, but it comes from a great play and a great clutch from a salvaged round.
Nerve-wracking though for Soniqs that they have come this close, and they needed a clutch play like that to win the round. Not something you can rely on very often, but you got to give it to them. They took the round, and maybe you can think about it as that first round, that it looked like they had already deserved. They had earned their way there, but well, they'll take this one instead. So the 4th bomb site for Astralis, it was a valiant effort, and it would have been awesome if they took it, but the Soniqs will claim that one, and Astralis will have to change it up.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the one big difference between Rexon's 1v1 and then Grixer's 2v1 is that Rexon instantly jumped in through the window, and then he died, right? It was 10-second 1v1. Grixer had like almost a 40-second 2v1. He took the time, he figured out the situation, obviously played for sound of the head drones, isolated the 1v1s, and then obviously won the gunfight. So taking your time when it's available to you, he had 60 seconds from that 1v2 situation, really plays the difference, I think, in those moments.
Well, something, of course, as casters, we love to talk about is all the new changes to the game this season. And once again, we saw repick in effect as Rexon switched from the Twitch to the Buck. But one thing we haven't seen yet, at least on this map, is the presence up the Goyo, have we? We haven't seen those Vulcan canisters yet, and that is a pretty sizable change. No longer those Vulcan shields, rather just canisters you can slap on a surface, but that area denial and the time denial that they could have is so insane.
20 seconds. You got 4 of them. But, as you said, not played in this game yet. We see Ying, however, being brought out from Super, something that Soniqs likes to do on Oregon when nothing else really works, or you need a dedicated way in through the bomb site. Well, Ying is a great operator, right? Because what Astralis will do is that they'll have a ton of people watching the same area. That's the breach into the bomb site as you see Yeti was opening up. Then you have the Ying. You can toss out those Ying Candelas. It'll blind all the defenders. Then you make your way through the bomb site, and you can get the entry, get the ground, get comfortable, and therefore counter Astralis. So as long as Super stays alive, and the flashbangs on Rexen and Kansan can be utilized to clear out those ADSs, or Might Disc, etc., which normally would be in play, but this round, there is no deny at all from the side of Astralis, which means every single Candela, every flashbang, and every nade will do maximum amount of damage.
Well, it's also really good at speeding up their attack. It can really alleviate all the time struggles they had last time they tried to approach this exact bomb site. They pushed in those last 10 seconds, and it got them in a lot of trouble. This time, with those Candelas, you can theoretically push in at any moment. You use that flood of smokes and flashes to get you over that edge. But right now, they're sitting back, they're staying patient. They're not moving in just yet. They wanted to wait until Rexen could enter down below into the bedroom and get likely some skeleton key destruction through the floor up above.
Yeah, and I mean, they're a little bit faster than the previous time around because that was a 15-second execute. We still got over a minute to go, but you have to be worried here. If Rexen either gets picked off from his own vertical destruction, or if they don't manage to find any opening kills, what will Soniqs do? Will it just be Super saying, you know what, time to go, boys, here we are, and Forest now reinforcing off that isolated wall to the outside of the building. That's going to give Astralis more cover on the bomb site itself, and, well, Shuttle almost lost his life, but actually stays alive.
Yeah, near wallbang there for Shuttles. Gotta be careful, but it's really DP Fire who puts himself in a bit of a pickle early on. Yeti claims the first one, and now Astralis find themselves a man down. If you're looking to get through this castle barricade, he'll just blitz his way on through, but Iconic stops him in his tracks with the Uzi. We're back in a 4v4, and Iconic, he's hungry for more, actually. He steps up and takes care of Kansan, but here come the Candelas, and here comes that plant. Looks like J9O tries to deny it, but just can't get through the coverage. It's Iconic himself who steps up to get the job done. Rexen on the coverage gets another, but now it is all up to Grixer, who gets down and finished off. Iconic going massive. A quad kill for him in that round to put Astralis back on top.
That's such a weird forecast. Look at the handshake. He's like, yeah, we got a deal there. We got the round 2v5, basically. Really nice hold again from Astralis, but I have to criticize Soniqs. It's the same story in all of these attacks. Either time is running down, or they don't find the opening pick because Astralis are just sitting still, waiting. They're not exposing themselves to those 1v1s. They're not getting picked off early. And then actually, I think there was a bit of a mistiming from the side of Soniqs because we saw Yeti punch that castle barricade, run in 1 versus 2, and the moment he died, that's when the Candelas and smokes came out. Imagine those Candelas had gone out first, all the defense are blinded, then Yeti rushes in. He is much more likely to win at least one of those 2 gunfights, and therefore has being able to cover Super on the plant. Yeti died, Super had no cover, and Super got taken out in the midst of all that chaos, and then your entire round is basically over if you're Soniqs.
What I did like about that round, though, is it does showcase, that brain power of Super, and that they recognize their problem. They recognize they just could not deal with the time constraint that Astralis forced them into the last time they went to that bomb site. So Super said, hey, let's change it up. Let's bring the Ying. Let's use those Candelas, and let's push in when Astralis aren't ready for it. We saw the aggression come out from Yeti as well, who just bum rushed into Terrace, making a bold play that ended up not working so well. But you got the idea. The Soniqs are looking to be fluid and be flexible, which with repick now in the game, that flexibility, it really could be the difference between some of those good teams and some of those best teams.
Yeah, Super said something along the lines of, you should basically always have the perfect operator lineup that you want to have for your attack because of the attacker repick. And I would argue that, sure, Soniqs have arguably had the best, if not one of the best operator lineups, but they haven't had the most success using that. Here we see another round. Early shenanigans from Iconic. He's really feeling it from the previous 4K in the round that just happened. And that's Yeti off the board. The Jackal that went from Maverick to Jackal. That's like your quote-unquote old 6-pick style, right? The operator doesn't even see the light of day. The Jackal cannot find any roamers. You cannot shut down Shuttle. You cannot shut down Iconic himself. And you're finding yourself in a 5 versus 4 in the first 30 seconds.
Our community poll, which asked, which is the better trash talker? I mean, clearly Iconic is proving that at least in the game, he's got the advantage for sure. 10 kills for Iconic, 1
Wow.
for Super. So quite a difference there, and he is clearly looking to continue that aggression. You see him running all over the map, and despite the drone that was at his feet, he was still able to catch Yeti, the Jackal, the one designed to deal with those roamers off guard. That's particularly impressive from him. So great start. Once again, Astralis still on top with a man advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, I think vibes are very good, a very important factor, especially early on in the stage, right? If you come into this game and you're Astralis thinking, you know what, this is going to be a very hard matchup of Soniqs, but then you're up 4-1, you're laughing, you're giving each other handshakes between rounds thinking, oh, we're doing a pretty good job right now. That's going to feel great. When the comms are great and the vibes are great, that's when the gameplay becomes great as well. And Soniqs, they got to find themselves a way out of this huddle because they're not finding any ground on this map. They're getting shut down at almost every single entry point so far, and the clock, a minute left. They've just made their way into drum. They've just put down those nomad traps with the flanks and for the map control. But what are they going to do next? They got to try and breach open the walls. There's no wall denial from the side of Astralis, which means it's very possible, but when are they going to do it?
Right, you've got Astralis trying to provide some pressure to make Soniqs feel a little bit uncomfortable. Right there, we saw Iconic either fake a swing or go for a little bit of a pre-fire. We saw J90 tapping away with that DMR just a moment ago, trying to make sure the Soniqs don't feel quite prepared, don't feel quite comfortable actually going for that breach.
There it is. At 35 seconds left, now we're breaching the walls. But once that wall is actually opened up from those Hibana X Kairos, we're talking 25, 20 seconds left. It's going to be so difficult for them, especially with this happening right here.
Well, Kansan gets the trade right after Forrest picked up the first, but that still keeps the Soniqs at a disadvantage. Iconic spotting the head of Super, but cannot get the headshot, and Kansan follows that up with a kill of his own. Perfect smoke, though, forcing Super to relocate. He's going to have to go for a different plan, and now Astralis has to step up to shut him down, but Rexon perfectly covers that. DP Fire gets in the sight. He gets the kill he needs. Time ticking away. He downs Kansan. He takes down the last one, and Rexon is gone. What a clutch from DP Fire, making it happen when it looked impossible.
Astralis, time and time again, stealing rounds from Soniqs. That was their round. They should have never won that, right, ever. But then DB Fire runs to the bomb site. There's no cover cutting off that rotation. 7 seconds left. Soniqs have to get aggressive, but DB Fire, he finds both kills.
The timing of that. He was able to slip.
It's perfect.
It's insane. He was able to slip into the bomb site, deny the planter. And from there, I mean, he was still in a pickle. He was still in a crossfire.
Yeah.
He had to step up, get both of those kills in 8 seconds before he got killed, right? I mean, you had both players swinging him at the same time. The Soniqs knew that they had one option, and that was converge and kill him. They couldn't pick up the diffuser in time, but he is able to look the right way at the right time. Maybe some good intel, good game sense, but clearly some good aim to win that one out.
That's the vibes. The vibes are good. We're playing good. That's Astralis right now. 5-1 split. Now you're on the attacking side. And honestly, this could just be an easy dub for Soniqs now. You know, 6 rounds straight. Make that a 7-5 victory, whatever. Because here comes the question that we asked 3 rounds ago. Astralis on the defensive side had a pretty good understanding of how to set up the bomb site, and Soniqs didn't look super comfortable breaking their defenses. Now with Astralis on the attack themselves, are they more comfortable than Soniqs were? Do they have a good read and understanding of how the map plays out? Because you have to fight every single round to win. It looks like it's a one-sided match. But with this side swap, could easily tie back up to 5-5, for example. And then every single round is just completely tied up again.
Well, like you said, Astralis certainly feeling good, looking good, and it's possible that with that momentum, it is enough to put them over the edge, but Soniqs are not a team to give this one up easily. They're going to move into the defensive side, hoping that they can hit the reset button. They can move into this half with maybe try to just stop the bleeding that's happening right now. So Astralis on their attack, I mean, it looks like they're going to begin much like Soniqs did as well, by just entering through this map, a lot of different points, trying to provide as much of that web of control on the map that they can, just to make sure that Soniqs cannot play as fluid or as loose as they might want.
Certainly, and the one thing I think is a little bit different is that Soniqs are going for both the mute and they're going for the bandit. They want to deny the walls, the drones, the intel, etc., and kind of compartmentalize the map itself. We see now already, though, Astralis opening up that geisha wall, going to force Rexon back here, has not a ton of supporters of a Kansan inside of drum, and not a ton of crossfire. This shield, though, of course, I mean, it's super behind it on the smoke. That's going to help them kind of have some sort of map control on Black Stairs itself. But this Twitch drone from DP Fire, clearing out utility, clearing out ADSs, and going to make every single spot that used to be safe just a little bit less.
Well, it's not easy to use a Twitch drone rail and evade all of those defenders as they are looking to shoot it out, but DP Fire is able to pick up at least a piece of utility or two before his drone is eventually shot out. But now he'll have to do the rest the manual way. No more Twitch drones. He'll have to clear that utility with the smokes he's got in pocket, possibly.
Man, they still got 2 grenades from the side of Iconic on that finger, but that's the only set of grenades that you have. Sure, J9 has those Sophia soft breaches as well, but not in a position to use them just yet. Actually, right there, that's the first one going out. Going to create more lines of sight, but these mute jammers from the side of Soniqs are creating some issues for the Hard Breach of Force, who's now looking towards the bomb side, trying to get an angle, sees an enemy, but the timing does not favor him, and actually the kill slips away.
Yeah, can't just get that angle, and at least he'll have the angle down the long haul to get a couple of kills, but it's actually DP fire to get the opener. Forrest finally gets the second. Yeti tries to step up and respond, but he cannot get it done. Only downing Iconic. He'll be able to pick himself back up in no time, but Shuttle, nice angle through the wall. He's able to get 2 for himself. Last alive is Kansan, who picks up 1, but has to find 4 more, and that is simply not going to be allowed by Astralis. It's J9 to get the final kill, but it is now Astralis who continue to just put the Soniqs into the dirt. It is a 6-1 lead right now, and it's match point.
Almost a flawless round too. It almost looks as if every single round Astralis are firing up and Soniqs are firing down. It's creating this massive gap between the two teams because, well, some rounds were clutches, sure enough, but that round right there, that is just a pure one-sided fiesta favoring Astralis. It was a 5 versus 1. Sure, Kansan found 1 kill on the flank, but that's it. That's all you found. And now we see Super trying to figure out what's the issue. Is it information? Well, Valkyrie is on the board. Not an operator that has actually seen play. We're now seeing Super on the pulse instead with a shotgun. Super is playing pulse shotgun on Skyscraper. I never thought I would say or see this, especially on day 1.
I mean, desperate times, desperate measures. I mean, they are looking to figure out something, some way to bring.
And he has a
back.
skin and a scope, so it's intentional. It was chosen with intent.
I mean, he's got the black eyes. He's looking good. But, I mean, we did say, even though we all did pick the Soniqs to win this one, so that's our bad. But what we did say is, it is risky to go to a map like this, and I think that risk is being realized right now. And the consequences of that are coming to the forefront because Astralis, clearly they are more comfortable, more practiced, and more prepared on a map like Skyscraper, and that just could be that we may be seeing Soniqs try to play more default, more regular, more tried and true maps in the future.
And the great thing about both of these teams, Pagan or Skyscraper, are choosing or agreeing to go here, not banning it out from the team, is that they're both showing their willingness to actually practice and play the map, and then other teams in the NAL will be like, okay, these teams play Skyscraper, I respect that. But if you're watching,
Community poll.
Yeah, you're gonna regret that community poll in this moment. Let's look at the score right now. 10-3 for Iconic, 2-6 in Super now, pull shotgun. But you're gonna feel kind of bad now if you're Soniqs, right? Because any other team in the NAL are like, you know what? They don't look that great on Skyscraper. Maybe we should take them to Skyscraper. And then Soniqs might find themselves having to ban it out next week or in following Playdays, unless, of course, that they think that this was just a fluke. That in practice, in scrims, that they are way better than what they're showing right now. Which, of course, we won't know, but we can theorize on it.
Astralis hoping to continue that rhythm and just put an end to this right now. Of course, they don't want to let Soniqs come back. If they get some momentum, we could see this one take a turn, but it is looking all Astralis right now. And Shuttle's looking to make a play. He blitzes in, but he runs into the man himself. The pulse shotgun takes him down for the opener, but Forrest is nearby for the trade. Maybe Shuttle mistimed that slightly and didn't wait for his teammate to actually get into Kitchen before making that move. Either way, he'll get that trade, and it won't cost him too much. But it will cost Forrest his life eventually. Grixer will make sure to go 1 for 1, and so Soniqs, for not the first time, but almost for like the second or third time in this map, will finally have another man advantage. Yeah,
and I think trading 1 for 1 with the pulls is worth it for Astralis, but then the trade back from Kansan, you know, that kind of, okay, now it's not worth it anymore. Now you're playing 4 versus 3, you have no map control, DP Fire doesn't realize that there's a guy in the corner right next to you. It's an easy pick for him. That's the case in the hands of Astralis now, for Soniqs, and Astralis are looking like in a world of hurt.
Well, Iconic gets one back at least. He'll take a lot of damage, though, while doing it. So he's going to be in an uncomfortable spot regardless of what gunfight he takes next. Got to find a way to recover this diffuser, and to do so on low HP is a dangerous, dangerous gamble. There are 3 full HP defenders to find. You do have J9 with some utility, but both of these players, both of these attackers that are alive, have no drones remaining. Limited possibilities for intel other than the 3 drones that are still on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, J9, has the 150. The LMG, anything is possible. Just watch here. 3 kills, 1 magazine is easy pickings for him in particular. He has full HP, but he has to make the first move.
But only 15 seconds, and he's got to step up. Iconic does get one back, but Jane, I know he'll just walk through the Surya gate in a load of danger here, but Kansan not in the right place at the right time. This diffuser finally in pocket. Iconic going for this plant, but here comes the C4. There goes Jane, I know, taken down. Iconic on 1 HP, able to stick the plant, able to get a triple kill. He only needs one more. It's a post plant for him, and Rexon now has to come back from above and get this diffuser. He only has 35 seconds. Iconic just has to sit back and wait, hoping that Rexon comes from the right angle at the right time. But on solo HP, it's such a risk, and he's looking the wrong way. He'll turn around, facing generally the direction where Rexon is peeking from. He'll spot him out just maybe, but it looks like both players have very little intel here. Rexon's the one who has to get a move on. Time is ticking, and Iconic, he's sitting pretty right now. All he has to do is wait. He's got some pings. He's got a free swing, and he's got the clutch and the map win for Astralis. There it is. He's able to pull it through, and Iconic making crazy statements here to kick off the season.
Who's the best trash talker, huh? You tell me.
I mean, they said it was super, but I don't know about that.
I feel like Iconic single-handedly did so much work for Astralis, and it was a bit of a slow start